Hey guys, I'm here to get into Twin Peaks: The Return, which is directed by David Lynch, released in the year 2017. And this is split. I mean, 'cause it's really a TV show, but I mean, it's intended to be something of an 18-hour kind of like final sort of just goodbye to the film project of the world. And it's just only more meaningful in every single passing day of passing time. This is completely mind-bending and life-changing, particularly having seen the 6 hours of bonus features living in this. Of just simply the making of this project is extremely mind-bending and life-changing to behold. And I think it's extremely educational, honestly, on a wonderful, on ideal film set. And very experimental, one of the most experimental projects in David Lynch's filmography, along with Eraserhead and Inland Empire. It kind of just has a fourth foundation built upon this entire series as apart from the original Twin Peaks and Fire Walk with Me in the early 90s. There's just an adventurism here that Lynch hones in on. It's almost like he just rebelled against being around like any small town atmosphere and decided to make this a worldwide foundation. He literally traveled throughout the entire world. I believe over 200 different countries of the world where this takes place. And this is just a uniquely life-changing kind of extent of adventurism, which is timelessly life-changing every single day. And its wavelength of just ambition and just telling literally hundreds of strange stories, over 200 fantastic characters. It's just like I don't know. This is like a final boss of just all film projects to me in the many levels. Like it really does combine a lot of the best of like many of my favorites, just rated from like Robert Altman, Stanley Kubrick, and just Lynch's original way, where it's just a completely fulfilling kind of foundation of anti-nostalgia. It conveys just all kinds of just a wide range of emotional value. Often it's hilarious. It also a lot of Hal Ashby influence, which is hilarious and absurd. It's very strange and just it can be very triumphant sometimes, very feel good, even also very horrifying. One of the perhaps one of the most horrifying moments I've ever seen live in this. A lot of heartbreaking and very awe-inspiring. It's just a very organic kind of detective depiction, which relates to just ultimate mysteries of modern life. And I think that Lynch wonderfully conveys a sense of why it's essential to have holy curiosity in face of absurdity and evil. Because every strange moment in this has something of a life lesson behind it, and Lynch is able to explore the value of that in a very original kind of way, which holds up as like a shoegaze atmosphere. I believe this resonates plenty with like a film equivalent of like because a lot of these are just very long takes, and Lynch is often experimental and just letting long takes happen. For a few time. I think this is the most. It seems like the most Kubrick influence he's ever been when making this. I think he was really out to kind of almost make his own version of that 100%. Like almost like the right way of the shows him on a space odyssey like perspective, where I think he has his like mystic optimism, but also exploring extremely dark depths in the middle of that. And it's by far feels like one of the most optimistic moments of Lynch's filmography. A lot of like Elephant Man Straight Story, although this is much weirder. There's a lot of it's like a full spectrum of just life living here. There's like hundreds of just incredible characters. Just looking at the early episodes, like Naomi Watts, one of my all-time favorite moments here, which is just like how do you top Mulholland Drive? This is just on its own level entirely. Laura Dern's completely just different than anything else I've ever seen her in. David Lynch himself is an amazing, my favorite character, perhaps along with John McLaughlin. Yeah, David Lynch himself, and this is just perfect. And I think for some of the first episodes, like you have Matthew Lillard in one of the most disturbing kind of storylines I've ever seen. I mean, it feels like a thriller that's just because usually you're used to seeing Lillard in like feel good moments, and here it's just downright terrifying to see all this unfold. Michael Cera is one of the most hilarious moment I've ever seen. And this is my favorite moment of Cera, because it's hilariously charming all throughout. Some of my favorite moments of Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tim Roth, they just give me a real original kind of sense of buzz about them from start to finish. All of this is just perfectly conveyed from start to finish. I've just never seen anything quite like this project. The way that the chemistry is conveyed, it's like so many of these scenes are downright, I think, timelessly kind of elevated confidence about just kind of a walk of life with film. And that's why it kind of relates, even though it's its own thing, it's like it does relate a lot to the film. Just the walk of life as an ultimate kind of final boss of it in a sense. I think that's the way I love perceiving this project. It's separate from the entire, even in the Twin Peaks series, really, in a sense. Although having a story kind of has a little more emotional resonance, I'd say. All the same, watching this as its own this is just perfect filmmaking. I think a lot of it, even a lot of Coen Brother influence. Like it's just all over the map. As it explores just characters who are potentially in depths of psychological torment, but they just kind of find their way through it in a very just epic and transcendental kind of way. And this is just an extraordinary depiction from start to finish. It's just, I can strongly recommend it as it holds up quite consistently. It's the most mind-bending, life-changing project I've seen. So this is just significantly influential and timeless.